We will get started with the Planning Board meeting of January 27th, 2022. And just to note, we do not have a quorum, so it's myself and David. Don't know what's up with Matt Sanborn, but Joe Pierce is recuperating. Don Sharp has Omicron, and Tracy's still at the law office, so but we don't have any votes or anything tonight, so not a big issue. I don't think we have seen the minutes yet from the last meeting, so we don't have any minutes to approve. And then we'll just get started. And first on the agenda is Bruce Crawford with the Baldwin Fire Department.
Thank you. My concern's a little bit, I know you're working on a comprehensive plan or getting ready to. Some of my concerns is I would like to know, what is going on a little bit, what would pertain to the fire department. And why I say that, I probably as guilty as anyone else, but I did pull up the Sand Pond project, and this is only part of it, it's not all of it. But if I realized it was that much, I might, in my mind, thinking about maybe there shouldn't have been something for water supply or something in that area.
Right.
I'm just throwing this out. I don't know if it's your department, if it's going to come back to me or what, but I know you're doing the plan, and I think I would like to see you guys think about this stuff as you're doing it.
Right.
The other thing is, some of these places that are being built, there again, I don't know if it's going to be you. With these big trucks, getting them in driveways and stuff, it's just not going to happen. And if they're long driveways, they are a problem. Some of these camp roads are a problem. And if it continues to keep going the way it is, we're going to get there one way or the other if we have to drag the hose in. It's not that we're going to say, it's too far away, we're not going to do it. That's what I'm not saying. I'm just saying, think about the height of the trees, whether there's, culverts and stuff like that. And why I say that, I know that the solar plant over on the Calmanar Road that you and I talked about, when they were talking 8-foot road, to me that's not wide enough, because this time of year that 8-foot would turn into 6, and it would be hard to get a truck up through there. Since then, I did go to the plant over here, and that's a little bit better, but if we had to go in there, the road is so far apart, which I would have to put 2 more men, one on each end, so if the trucks are coming in and out. If it was, this is worst case scenario, it would tie up at least 2 more people for my end. And I understand, sometimes that's the nature of the beast. But I would like the comprehensive plan to be thinking about that when we're doing some of these projects. And it doesn't have to be the solar farm, maybe, some business wants to move in. Make sure the roads are wide enough so that, we can get in and out safely.
Right. Good input. I know we spent a lot of time talking about that for the Baldwin Solar Farm at 113 and Deacon Road, and actually wound up having them widen the road on both sides. They're actually going to have to move the monument, and it's going to be like 24 feet. Because, we specifically addressed being able to get the semis coming in without, and checking the turning radius as well as having somebody come out. But we need to be more diligent about that with all of the solar farms and now, the subdivisions too. And we've been getting better about inviting you and Owen to all the meetings and letting you guys know what's on the agenda and stuff. And, I've been trying to specifically point some things out, like in this final report that they put out, if they eliminate single-family zoning restrictions in all residential zones across the state by allowing up to 4 residential units on all lots,
I did read some of that.
You know-
You sent it and I did read it.
yeah, and, you know, they prohibit municipal growth caps. You know, it's gonna have a big impact on, the fire department and, you know, all of our municipal resources. So good points. Is there anything that you're, concerned about to the point that we should go back and address it with any of the, solar farms for subdivision, contractors?
I don't know if you can do that now, and that's why I said I'm not asking if you can't do it, but, even going into Pierce's over there, when I get in there a ways, I could see where a truck had gone out of the road. You could see the big tire marks where it had gone out. They had, you know, it had snowed. So the road apparently wasn't big enough for them too. But it's not something I can say that we can't overcome because we can do it with just 2 people.
Right.
But it makes it much easier when I don't have to worry about little things like that.
Right, having flaggers.
Right.
Okay.
That's why I said, I don't wanna start jumping up and down and saying we need this now, because it may be too late, I understand that. But in a comprehensive plan, as you move forward, I would hope we'd be looking at things like that, and there's probably many more we should be looking at as we move along.
Okay.
As I said, some of these going in the driveways of camp roads and stuff, these trucks are bigger than there was. There's a reason why these trucks are bigger. We're trying to do 2 or 3 jobs with 1 truck. You know, where way back, they would haul water and pump, that was it. And we're trying to do a lot more with these trucks, with less trucks. So, that's the reason why you get the, you know, the big trucks and heavier trucks. Looking at some of these driveways I've gone through, I know there's one over Tootsavale there, looking in there, I'm not sure if you get in there without hitting the driveway. It's a driveway, so I don't know, you really can't do a whole lot. I mean, I wouldn't want 2 guys coming in and telling me what I was gonna put on my driveway. But, you know, but if you want the service and stuff, I think we need to be looking at this. And, another one would be Birch Road, there's one over there that I question, you know, the driveways and the trees and stuff like that. If we had to go in there, but there again,
No,
no, it's on the other end. Then I'm gonna say, I just get ready to say that, but it's on the other end, so they go in.
Yeah.
They would have to be the first ones to go
Yeah,
in there.
I worry about that with my driveway, just the turning radius, you know, like during the winter.
It's like that driveway, the trucks would get in there, and whatever truck's in there would be there to the end.
Right, because you can't get out.
It's the same, Woodworth Road, it's not wide enough.
Right,
Once the trucks are there, whatever is in there is gonna stay there. It's probably sitting right in the road until the end.
yeah,
They're gonna be bringing other trucks to it.
Yeah.
That's what happens, and these are things that I kinda have to figure out, or Owen or somebody has to figure out. But if we can make these things a little easier at the beginning, especially with, you know, business coming in, if they really want it, I would think you would have it wide enough so you get vehicles through.
You're talking about road width, so this is good for me to learn as we go forward, you know, I'll be able to keep that in mind. Now, you said something else about the height of the trees?
This is in driveways, I just noticed this just driving by, and it's why I told you, I probably wouldn't want you to tell me what I could do with my driveway either. Although I lost all my trees.
You know, if you got branches hanging over your driveway,
Right.
the trucks come
Oh,
in.
yeah.
You know, if you've got only 15 feet and it's a 24-foot truck, they're gonna be
Well,
getting trees in the way.
I'll tell you, it's under 13, but you're right, it's those figures. I mean, if you got 12 foot, you know, hanging, and you bring a truck in at 13,
Yeah.
it's gonna drag.
yeah.
Right, okay.
Or you can't get in, if it's a big enough branch.
There's one place a number of years ago, off of Route 11 over there, and I don't know who lives there. They got partway in and they realized they had built a wooden bridge across not a brook, but just a wet area.
Yeah,
And glad I didn't have nothing to do with it, but they recognized that, and they walked the rest of the way in. If they drove across it, they would have collapsed it. It wasn't what was needed there, but there again, that's personal property, but I do think in the comprehensive plan, we need to be thinking about things in that area.
Now, any roads that are town roads that we're thinking about, that, now that's something that Brian Anderson can help out with, I would think.
That guy right there.
He quit.
He quit?
Yeah.
When?
Morning.
This morning. What triggered that? I mean, he's quit before, but what? He quit right before the bomb cyclone comes this weekend.
Yeah, he did.
So just remember, we're on video, so.
He's done it so many times. I mean, he did, when I was on the board the first time, he's done it repeatedly, ever since, but I guess today's the final. I shook his hand, took his letter, and good.
What, does he have a particular beef, or is he just tired of it?
He does have a beef that set him off, but in general, he's just tired of it.
Yeah. All right.
Particularly the getting up in the middle of the night to plow snow on the weekends.
Right.
I can understand.
All right.
So, somebody else, not one. Funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is some roads that, I know, I haven't talked to you about this at all, so it's probably gonna be a surprise to you, but I don't know what the weight of the roads are, and when you post these things for less than what my truck is, that makes us more liable going across, some of these bridges. And one of them was before you done the one up by where Davis was there, New Road, up there. What was that, 10 ton?
Well, that's a culvert, isn't it?
It's been rebuilt since then. It's been rebuilt. But the other one I keep looking at right now is over on the River Road, because they got that, so they don't want the big trucks to go across it. And technically what happens is you have two culverts, big culverts sitting there. If I ever had them set the trucks on it, I could collapse them easy. Because I don't have the wheelbase. Other than that, your bigger trucks, you're off it. You get your front wheel, then your back wheel, then your trailer.
Yeah, that would be a candidate for replacement, but I took.
Yeah, but
I took pictures before and after the big heavy work was done there, and
Well, no, what I was getting at though, with that, if you put a weight limit on 10 tons, and then I go across it, then I'm liable. The town's liable for its own
drove
thing.
across that one multiple times.
I've been across it with a truck, so I mean, but I wouldn't stop and sit on it and pump water. That I wouldn't do, because the vibration of the truck might be just enough to start it.
Do we have to, wait until we can advertise and bring in a new road commissioner, or are some of the things that he did, are we able to contract labor out to somebody in the interim?
I'm one of the selectmen on the whole board, so I can tell you how it's going to solve. But I can tell you that we have a crew lined up for Sunday, or Saturday. Maybe about the weekend.
Okay, well, good luck. Good luck. David, did you have any thoughts or comments on the topics that Bruce was talking about?
Nothing more than what was said.
Thank you, Bruce.
Okay.
We will keep you involved and keep those considerations forefront as we work on the comprehensive plan. And so that's the next topic. On Tuesday, I gave a call to Lee J. Feldman, because, after we posted our latest statement of interest, he gave kind of a very succinct, brief we're not gonna bid on this, type thing, and, you know, I was concerned that they were washing their hands of us, and fortunately, that's not the case. You know, it was a very interesting conversation, and, what, Lee J said is that, you know, they're a nonprofit. They actually are funded, to do things for the town at reduced cost. We can get some things from them for free and other things at reduced rates. And one of the things that you give up is they don't really have the time to do fancy proposals like your for-profit, companies will do. So when he saw the new statement of interest, you know, he just said, we're not gonna submit a proposal, you know, a PowerPoint proposal to compete with, folks that are gonna bid on the MMA website. But they certainly are willing to, work on the comprehensive plan, for us. And I talked with him about our, latest statement of interest and learned some things. Because one thing that we put in there, you know, Bob, based on what you had sent me about, the plan being adequate or satisfactory for the state planning office, which is now a function of the Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry, and deemed consistent with the, goals and guidelines of the Growth Management Act. You know, he said that used to be very important to do that. And he said it's a really involved process. The checklist is 50 pages long. You know, you have to go through public hearings and take minutes. And people did this because there was money that was parsed out to main government departments, and, you know, they would evaluate the town's plans, and money would be available to those municipalities if the plans were consistent. You know, you would be more highly prioritized in the grant process and things like that. None of that exists anymore. You know, so the comprehensive plans are not being used to assess priority for grants amongst communities and things like that now. This is what Bruce told me. He said, so it's not the case today, it's no dollars, so, you know, while we have this in our SOI, it may not be worth the time and effort to do. But that was what he communicated to me. He also, you know, I did ask them. I asked him to have Reagan, the associate that was with him, to go in and revise their proposal to us, because I didn't feel that it was strong enough or clear enough in talking about us doing the comprehensive plan and, you know, getting to the point where we have the community goals and policies and implementation strategies, and then directly tying that into an update of our growth ordinance, our land use ordinance, and our other ordinances. Now, you know, that's a bridge that we want to do from the comprehensive plan, but actually updating the ordinances is a separate project from the comprehensive plan. But I wanted to have them clarify that you know, that was a deliverable. And, you know, of course, he told me about this Commission to Increase Housing Opportunities in Maine, which I've shared with everybody, where, you know, there are initiatives to do away with growth ordinances and things like that. So that's just something that we'll have to track and talk about. And I think the selectmen are interested in, you know, possibly getting a little bit more involved with reaching out to our legislators and the MMA to try and get our voices heard about the impact of, you know, doing away with growth ordinances, because while I'm sure we're all empathetic to the housing crunch in Maine, I don't think any of us want to see, and what I've heard people say is we don't want to see all our protections completely blown away so that we become the next Gorham or Standish.
Or Buxton.
Buxton, yeah.
I have a couple serious questions in writing the comprehensive plan. First of all, can't a lot of the writing be done by a committee and then just give to Feldman for correction and how it might apply to laws?
Yeah, and that is the actual proposal that we have from them. They're not doing it for us, we're doing it together, and there will be work for us to do and for committees to do.
And I was under the impression that the comprehensive plan is sort of a guide in which ordinances that we create are guided by the comprehensive plan with direction. So there's an important step, but you're also saying that comprehensive plans aren't utilized that much anymore for applying to other causes or.
Well, that's more, the comprehensive plans aren't being used by the state, by the Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry to parse money out or prioritize grants back to the town.
So with a little imagination, isn't that sort of conflict with the state says every town has to have a comprehensive plan, but we aren't really going to use it?
Yeah.
So when's the last time we used it? Yeah.
So it was obviously 1991, and I.
No, but we don't use it now.
No.
No, we don't, and it's possibly because we just don't use it, and the other one is it sort of anticipated.
I would say you do use it every time you issue a house permit,
Yeah.
business permit, everything that you have is based on it.
Well, we do, but I mean, we don't refer to it.
Right.
Well, I think that's the challenge, is to, as we redo it, to focus on the, you know, the parts of it that really impact how we want to move forward in the future, so that we use that to tune up the ordinances for, you know, growth. And David, I don't know if you heard, but you know, Wes expects to hit his 15 house growth cap in spring of this year. Last year he hit it in August.
It's awesome.
No, I've got something to say about it. I'll review it a little bit.
Nice, consistent growth.
So anyway, that's what's going on with the comprehensive plan. Southern Maine Planning and Development Commission is still available to us. We're having them tweak their proposal to us. Danielle contacted me and said that you know, some kind of organization like Connect Maine or something like that saw our proposal and wrote her and said, you know, what time is the response to the statement of interest due on the 15th? So we've got a little bit of interest in it. We'll see if we get any more. But that's what's happening with the comprehensive plan. Any questions or comments?
I think your review is comprehensive. I'm here all week. Yeah, that's it, I'm in
But anyway, you know, there didn't seem to be any, issues that DJ had,
That's right.
Baldwin
Of
or
course, yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah,
so.
in an email, you can never really tell the town,
Yeah.
can you? I mean,
Exactly. So, yeah, Wes, you wanted to add some things? We're actually, you're next on the agenda, it's the CEO, update, so.
We have an email back and forth about Dick Eaton and Firefly,
Yeah.
Firefly subdivision, and as you know, I estimated that his father was taking care of his wife, or his mother, who had Alzheimer's, and his father fell, broke his collarbone, and he's only 96 years old, so if he sort of filling in the space right now, but he says probably late March or so, he'll be ready to start coming back.
Right, okay.
Growth permits. 2 years ago, I hit 15 in December. Last year, I hit 15 first week in August. And right now, still in January, I've done 7. We have 8 left. Of the 7, 4 have been subdivisions, so we maxed out on subdivisions so far. But that seems okay because of the subdivisions. 3 more went to the Sand Pond subdivision, so all 6 lots in Sand Pond has been permitted, and there's one across the street in Fremont subdivision that's, has a permit, so if somebody wants to, I don't anticipate somebody coming for a subdivision permit soon. And probably, if it's going at this rate, I would say by April, we're gonna have all 15 done. Usually you get a flurry in March and April as the frost gets out of the ground. People feel like building. And then, I finally got the paper that Don Sharp, emailed to you and you forwarded to
Oh,
me.
yeah.
And Bob and I often some questions sent to MMA about tiny homes and one of them was I think about, well, 400 square feet is the footprint. And a tiny home have a second floor.
Yeah.
Well, this I got from Don,
Right.
says here, a tiny house, a dwelling that is 400 square feet or less in floor area, excluding lofts. And then it goes on further wherever it was.
Does that mean they can't have a loft, or you just don't count that
No,
as
you can
square
have-
feet?
The 400 square feet is really oriented, well, to a maximum size, but it's oriented on roadable tiny homes on wheels. At the maximum is 8.5 feet wide, and I think 45 feet long, and that's just about 400 square feet. So it's feet around that. But if you have a fixed tiny home, it doesn't have to be half. You can have 20 by 20. That's 400 square feet footprint. So there's a real separation between tiny homes on wheels and fixed tiny homes. And further on about lofts, it says loft shall have a floor area of not less than 35 square feet. So one of my question was, can they have a second floor? And anyhow, and then I came across something else where I on the internet, and I was going to the Maine government, and new Maine law makes way for tiny homes, and they have a mention here. Question says, can you put a tiny home on a foundation? It says, absolutely, you can build a tiny home on a trailer or on a traditional foundation. You could even have a basement foundation in your tiny home. So 400 square feet is showing more and more its footprint, you know, and also the 400 square feet is the maximum is living space, which is one of the elements is it has to be heated, so you can live in it. Sheds, garages, lean-tos, decks don't count. So that can be added on, it doesn't count. So a cellar that you don't live in, that's fine.
We have a building height limitation in
35
Baldwin?
feet.
Okay, good.
So that's been
Like a big
working
chimney.
on my mind. And the final thought here, just woke up. Solar farms, and we had decommissioning,
Yeah.
they have to be decommissioned. There's two thoughts. One is we don't really have a mechanism to check every 5 years to see, have they upgraded the bond for decommissioning along with inflation or whatever they're gonna do. However, at the same time, they do the same with decommissioning and DEP, and I think DEP has a mechanism.
Yeah, the state actually passed some legislation to control the decommissioning process for the solar farms.
And the second thought about decommissioning is sort of light bulb going off in my head, and I was just looking for numbers, but I couldn't find numbers. I think some of the numbers rattled around Crockett Trail where my edit is $600,000 decommission. And I think long was assuming that maybe $800,000. How do you build a $16 million installation and spend $800 to get rid of it? Something's wrong there. A comparison I have, put together, taken apart, jobs that I'd have 3 guys load a truck, 3 to 4 hours. I'd go down a job site, and me and a guy on the job site could unload it in 1 hour. So it takes a lot less to take apart than put together, 25%. But even if it was $1 million decommission, I think balance that was $15 million to put it together. Something's wrong. Okay, just a thought.
Yeah. Bob?
Yeah. We also have, Danielle is resigning in about 3 weeks.
What?
She's got a better job in Carson, working in the town office.
What's she gonna be doing for Parsonsfield?
I think she's starting out as, selectman's assistant, and then hopes to get elected as the, town clerk, tax collector.
Wow. Doesn't she live down there?
She's very close, and, it's a long drive here, sometimes the roads are difficult, and, down there, she's about 4 minutes from the office.
Wow.
They say they're gonna pay her more, and,
I better not retire this one.
I say congratulations, what you want your employees to move up.
Yeah.
But she's got about 3 more weeks,
Oh my goodness.
so you'll see an ad in the paper.
Yeah.
and bring them.
Good luck.
Well, it's been very good.
Well, she's handled a lot of responsibility. She's always seemed very, very competent.
And the hard part was she's been here for 5-6 years. And it probably took 2 years for her to get comfortable and know all goes on and the contacts and everything else that operates smoothly. So that's the hard part, the new person come in, work all this thing.
Yeah, because when we first moved here in October, November of 2013, I met her, and she was in the office with Debbie.
Yeah.
So,
8 years,
she's been
yeah.
around since then.
She came on after a committee tried to attempt to streamline the selectmen's duties and how it could be more efficient, and decided that they needed an assistant.
Have you set a date for your transition, Wes?
No, my birthday's in May, so I'll make an announcement that I'm going to retire through the summer after they get a replacement, my work with replacement even then.
Oh, that's great.
I'm not just gonna
Yeah,
disappear.
yeah, so that you can
I turn
parallel track for a while.
80, I turn 80 in May. Time to retire.
All right. What a transition. Anything else, Bob? No? Bruce?
All good?
Good. David?
Got no one to shut up and no one to walk away.
Motion?
Move to adjourn.